A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into yet another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. And here at Quaker Steak and Lube, getting ready for the all-you-can-eat wing buffet, which will be coming up in just a couple of hours here. Looking to maybe get out before you're preparing all of the meals for everybody else. Boy, this would be a great opportunity here on this eve of Christmas Eve to come on out to Quaker Steak and Lube. Let them take care of the meal tonight. And again, the all-you-can-eat wing buffet, it's their regular wings. They don't skimp at all. The regular big, juicy wings, all of the great flavors that you've come to know and love here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Again, the all-you-can-eat buffet gets underway at 4 o'clock. Come on out. This is a great place to we are into the best time of the year for football as we head to the playoffs in the NFL in just a few weeks. We're in the playoffs for the college football season. Of course, we have Penn State and their bowl game coming up. This is the place to watch all of that action along with all of your favorite hockey. And, you know, if you're a basketball fan, sorry about that, but you can watch the NBA, I guess, if that's what you're really going to do with your life. You can do that here as well. They have all of the great sports on all of the many TVs located throughout the establishment. And again, great food, great service, and yes, they have great beverages available here at Quaker Steak and Lube as well. The Dear Goon checking in remotely today. We're going to certainly talk some Penn State Clemson Pinstripe Bowl. We'll certainly talk some record-setting Penn State Wrestling. We'll talk some Penn State hoops here as well, and certainly we will talk about the NFL, the dream of the Keystone matchup in the Super Bowl is still alive here this year. Who do we have there, Goon? On the for the non-radio audience, you can see our beautiful young guest. Who do we have here, Goon?
We got Miss Parker here. She's up there doing some Christmas coloring and making some cookies today. So I promised her she was a good girl. She could come on the show. Say hi. Hi. Tell everybody Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I love that outfit. You look like you are ready to go and ready for Santa to visit. That is.
That she was a good girl all year, so she's going to get a big Christmas, she thinks, right? Give it up. Good job. Thank you. Bye-bye.
A great
job. Let me hear it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, that's been my last couple of days. I've been doing some drawing, some coloring, and some cookies. It's been a good couple days here.
She's been a better girl than you and I have been boys.
This is very true.
Over the course of the past year. But we're hoping Santa nonetheless.
She's a good girl. So she's all. She said she's secure. You jacked up.
That's great.
Yeah,
Parker, I love it.
Yeah, man. So it's Christmas up here. Snows every day here, so we're all good. She got her time in now. She's good to go.
Yep. Christmas and the holidays always so much better when we have the kiddos around. That is great stuff. It was funny at our house this morning. So we got some. Not too much right here in State College, although I think a little west and a little south more so, but more of like a light freezing rain for a little bit this morning. But we were worried, which is not usually our concern. We were worried that we might not have school today. Today was the movie day. I think they were having, I don't even know what all, hot chocolate. It was pajama day. They could bring a stuffy. And so the fat turtle comes down. He's like, Dad, do we have school? I'm like, oh, Reg, you do have school. And the celebration was, he's like, yes. So We were very happy about having the final day of school before the break here, at least in the State College area. But it was funny because a lot of more were coming down. It's like, any chance that school's been canceled or a delay? It's like
Normally,
today,
yes.
just the opposite. But it's this is a fun time of the year, especially if you do have youngsters around. A lot of fun.
Always.
Goon, let's talk a little about this Penn State Clemson game. I've had a bunch of people ask. I think it's really hard, and I know it opened up as I think Penn State was a 1-point favorite, and I think it's now 3 or 3.5 for Clemson. One of the things that I think is just really difficult is that we don't know who all's going to play. And Terry Smith has said, listen, we might have some guys opt out on Saturday. So we don't know really for either team exactly who's going to be out there. I think we're getting hopefully a pretty good idea with both teams, and it doesn't seem at this moment like there's a ton of opt-outs here for the Nittany Lions. We between the injuries and for both teams, between the injuries and the opt-outs, again, it's not going to be the optimal lineup for either team, but I think it makes it difficult, Goon. These bowl games are sometimes difficult anyway because it's like which team is actually motivated, which team wants to be there. Is one of the teams less interested? It feels like both of these teams are pretty invested in the game for the game's sake, right? I mean, I think both these teams are disappointed with the way their seasons went. And, obviously Clemson didn't have the coaching change that Penn State went through. But I think Penn State's come out on the other side of that in pretty good shape. So I don't know. I just don't have any feel at all for really what to expect here on Saturday. But I think both teams with the teams that they have will go out and play hard. And I think it'll be a pretty good competitive game. That's what I'm anticipating, I guess.
Yeah, but what has gotten me the last couple of years, and I know it's gotten you too, is that like if you're not going to play, let the coaches know. Let the coaches know. Don't be like on like a day before the game. I mean, why can't that be rectified? Why is that like still an issue that we had that against Ole Miss 3 years ago? And I wish that it would have been fixed if if you're going to accept the trip to the bowl game, you should be playing in the game, in my opinion. But if Terry and the coaches, if that's the way they handle, that's the way they handle it. But I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I'd like to know who's going to play in this game. I mean, if I was playing the game, I'd like to know that, the guy playing next to me is not gonna wake up the next morning and say, I don't want to play today, and you're going to play with the backup next to you. I mean, that's again, this is like the difference in the worlds of the way it is now and the way it used to be. But I don't think guys get offended anymore by this or that, like the way we used to get like mad about keeping it as a team and stuff like that. But I understand why guys don't want to play, but I don't understand why they can't make that known before. It's just my personal thing, I guess. The fact that it's Tuesday and we're talking about a game this Saturday, we already think that there's going to be players who aren't going to play that haven't said anything. Like what? Are they taking reps at practice? Are they doing all this and that? I mean, if you're not going to play, let the people know. Let the younger guys get the 15 practices in.
Yeah, and we do have somebody asking, is it in the NIL contract? No. Well, Goon, you might have a better handle on this. I was listening to Landon, and I didn't really realize, I guess, how some of this stuff works. But like most of the players this year, at least at Penn State, and I think this was the case with most schools, but for sure at Penn State, most of the money paid by the school was on the front end, meaning that the players have already been taken care of. But I guess Katron Allen is a little different situation, and that it seems likely or probable that he is going to play at least some in the Pinstripe Bowl on Saturday, and it is at least partially financially motivated for
Yeah,
him.
I don't know anything about the NIL deals. I really don't. I mean, I just know what Landon has said in the past, and that is that. But then you're right, because some guys, it seemed like they remember he was telling us that they tried to get these things pushed through in July. They paid all their money up front, stuff like that. So it's odd hearing that Patreon may have a different contract, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how those things work. I mean, he might have a side deal with somebody else that says you must play in the bowl game to get this money. It might not be from the Penn State NIL. It might be a personal deal. Who knows? Plus, he's still going for records too. I mean, he may have that at the back of his head, trying to add on to those type of things. More power to him. I hope he does play. I hope he plays all 4 quarters.
Yeah, moving forward, I do think there almost needs to be something written in contractually. Where this is going to get tricky, Goon, is because of the era we're in and the times that we're living in. You can quote unquote require somebody to play, but you obviously can't require somebody to play if they're injured. Well, also potentially factoring in here now these days are mental health issues. And listen, do I think it's going to be the norm? No. And do I think you can write it in? Yes. If you're healthy, you must play. Do I think there's going to be some folks that it's like, listen, I'm not playing in the Pinstripe Bowl when I thought we were going to be playing for a national title. And contractually here it says you must unless you're injured. Oh, yeah, you know what, my hamstring, or, you know what, this is just too stressful. I need, again, do I think that's going to be the norm? No, I think most of these guys are pretty stand-up individuals, but are there going to be situations that develop where either there is hard feelings with a player and a coach, or a player in a school, or an agent in a school, and there's going to be at least a couple of situations down the road, even if this is contractually, quote unquote, taken care of, where you're like, something's not right. Like, that guy looks like he's fine and he's not playing. So, yes, I mean, I think there's still going to be some games played, but I do think you can write these contracts that, hey, yes, you get X amount of money if you play in X percentage of games. And if you play in the postseason, you get, this bonus, if that's the way it's written in, or however it works, so that there is some financial incentive. But I'm with you, Goon. I listened to Terry Smith explain it, and I don't understand why you can't, as a coach, or why you wouldn't want to, as a coach, say, listen, we are going to set a deadline. Terry said, no, we're not setting deadlines. These guys can make their decision, and there's all kinds of things that factor into it. And yeah, maybe I'm just not of the modern era thinking, but to me, yeah, you got to let me know by Monday. Are you, meaning yesterday? Are you in or not? Are you playing in the Pinstripe Bowl or not? And if you're not, that's cool. And if we know ahead of time and you want to be involved in the practices and help our younger guys out, or if you're an older guy, fine. I think that's okay, as long as everybody knows. And then, so all right, listen, we want you to be almost an extra coach here. But yeah, to me, it would not only bother me as a coach, it would bother me as a teammate if I'm getting all of the 2 reps and therefore fewer reps, and the one guy comes out Friday afternoon and says, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm not playing tomorrow. I just took all of the practice time this week. Like that just doesn't seem like it would sit right with anybody to me.
You think it wouldn't, but it seems to be the thing that happens every year here. I mean, and it's not just here; it's everywhere. It's just crazy to think that nothing has been. I go back to it. We give way too much power to the players, in my opinion, nowadays. The whole pendulum thing. Where the players had no power before, and now they have all the power. Now, if they don't want to practice that day, they don't practice. If they don't want to play in a game, they don't have to play. And there's no Yeah, I mean, maybe the kids are more mature nowadays, I guess. I don't know, but I know it would be exploited when I was playing. But I wouldn't, again, you and I come from a different era where this wouldn't have happened. It'd be like, if you're playing, tell me. If you're not, I don't want to see you here. If you're gone, that's your decision. It's your business decision. I get it. You want to go down and train, but I don't want you in New York City for 5 days eating and acting like a slob when you say you want to go out down to go train somewhere and you're just up here partying and having a good time. I'd be pissed at that, but I don't know if that's going down or not.
Yeah, it's such a weird to me, it's a weird thing to try to get your head around. And I don't see I don't see why coaches can't just say, "Hey, listen, yeah, you got to let me know by Monday at the latest of game week or a week ahead of time whether you want to play or not. And if you say you're going to play, then you need to play." And I mean, I don't know legally what the ramifications are there, but I mean, come on, be a straight up person and let us know if you're in or out for the game. And, I guess I've come around as far as it goes because it wasn't even a consideration, even though the injury possibility was obviously always there, always is there. But it just wasn't something. It's like, well, no, I have an opportunity to go play football with my teammates for my school. And it's a reward for the season we've had. Nobody opted out. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't get the feeling, and I could be proven dead wrong here Saturday. I don't get the feeling we're going to have a lot of late additional opt-outs. I don't think we won't have any. I think there will be more players other than I think it's 5, right, that we're aware of that are opting out. But we'll see. I would expect maybe another player or two anyway, but I don't get the feeling we're going to get a mass. And hopefully, the other thing, Goon, maybe there are some guys and maybe there's some strategy here. I mean, maybe they are talking to Terry and, hey, yeah, I'm not playing, but let's, let it out there that, we don't know. Maybe you don't even let Clemson know until game time. I don't know how much gamesmanship goes on, and I don't know how much difference it makes one way or the other. I can't imagine the opposing team being, oh, man, you fooled us. We really thought Kaytron Allen was going to play, and now he's not. You got us. So, okay, well, yeah, one of the best players in the country is not going to play for your team. Got us. So I mean, if it's the start, like I don't know, but maybe that is going on where it's, hey, we're going to keep them guessing as to, and there could be some spots where that would make some sense, maybe just in terms of like if you had a running quarterback who you knew was opting out and drop back pass. I mean, maybe they're preparing for one or the other in a given situation where it makes some sense. But generally speaking, I'm not sure what advantage you're gaining by having the opposition prepare for your starter and then surprise. We showed you. Here's our backup who's not as good. Okay.
He's our fourth teamer for a reason.
Yep, you showed us. You really had us fooled as we prepared for it. So I don't know. But maybe some of that is going on as well. If you didn't hear, Alex Tash is not going to play. Tash is the freshman linebacker who got injured while preparing for the bowl game. So an already thin linebacking core. I mean, it was thin from day one. Then you have Tony Rojas out, and now you have Alex Tash out. And so it's a thin group that Penn State will have with the linebacker core here against Clemson. And A.J. Harris, really good. I thought there was a pretty good chance he was going to make himself eligible for the NFL draft. So he, not a terrible surprise he's an opt-out. I guess mildly surprised that, but maybe he's getting some bigger money offers. I don't know elsewhere, but A.J. Harris is entering the transfer portal and is off of the roster, so he won't play in the Pinstripe Bowl. But overall at this point, seems like Penn State is at least treading water. Of course, the real news is going to be hitting, I think, right after the bowl game, and when we start to find out, all right, how many additional transfer portal guys are there going to be here for the Nittany Lions? And I'm watching and listening to. I mean, the speculation is all over the place here, Goon. None of us actually have any idea, and we're just going to wait and find out together, and then if it's not that many, great, and you move forward. And if it is a ton, then you got to go hit the transfer portal a little harder yourself. But, I mean, it's going to play out how it's going to play out. There's some people that are getting I can understand Matt Campbell and Terry Smith and some of the coaches having angst over this. Honestly, as fans, it's not actually impacting us until we see what the team looks like next year. But yeah, this has got to be a little bit of an anxiety-filled time for Matt Campbell and for the coaching staff, just trying to figure out. Now, maybe they, hopefully they've had some heart-to-heart discussions, and hopefully everybody's being honest with one another here, Goon, so that they have at least some sense of, all right, yep, we know these 20 guys are likely leaving, or these 8 guys are likely leaving, or these 55 guys are likely leaving, whatever it is. And they are, therefore making plans accordingly in terms of who they're trying to go after in the portal itself when it opens here in January.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how Campbell's got to come in here and get his rendition or version of the NIL set, have each player commit to it, agree to it, before they go into the transfer portal. And how long has he had? How long has he been here? 2 weeks, 10 days, 12 days?
Yeah.
I mean, he's met with how many players to try and say, hey, are you staying or are you going? And then the player is going to say, well, what are you giving me? And that's just the way it's going to be. So if, he has to have his numbers in order already of what they're going to pay these guys, or they're going to say, no, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. And 90% of him, he might be saying, we're not going to offer you anything, meaning get the hell out of here. We don't need you here. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what he wants to keep here, what guys are leaving here. Real quick point. My feeling is that, if guys are going to leave Penn State to go down to play for James Franklin, if it's a money thing, I get it. But if it's because James Franklin is your buddy and your player's coach and you want to be like the player's buddy and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know if that's the guy I want on my damn team anyway. You know what I mean? If you're going to leave the school that you came to Penn State from the school, did you come to Penn State to play for James Franklin or to play for Penn State? Okay, and if it's going to be for James Franklin because he's a player's coach, as he says, and that, he's going to offer these guys to go down to move down to Virginia Tech and all that, and then go. If that's what you're interested in, because I don't think Matt Campbell's interested in that. I think Matt Campbell's interested in winning football games and getting Penn State back to where we want to be. So I'm sure there's going to be some tough conversations they probably have in the last 10 days, and they're going to have in the next couple days here when the transfer portal opens. So it'll be interesting. I can't imagine the hours that Campbell's put in here, having to think about having to review his whole roster, who they want to keep, who they don't want to keep, how much they want to spend on each person, and then see if that person is interested in Penn State and here at Penn State, or are they going to leave? So I'm sure it's been a lot of work for that new staff that just came in here.
Yeah, and listen, I don't really begrudge anybody. Listen, they committed. You say, was it one or the other? They committed to both, but I mean, the relationship that the coaches have with the players is critical. There's nobody in college football that's going just to the school. Yeah, I can't stand that coach, but man, I love the school. That's just not how it works. So you're committing to both, but that relationship with the coach and the coaching staff, listen, it's a big part of it. I mean, I get it, and I really don't. I don't begrudge anybody that, it's not like James Franklin opted to leave. Penn State told him to get out, and he still has relationships with these guys, and whatever number choose to follow. Again, the kids weren't the ones asking for James Franklin to be let go. So it's going to be a tumultuous year here for Penn State football. There's just no around that. How tumultuous? Again, we'll find out. But I do think getting, in my opinion, the right guy, Matt Campbell, who does seem like a straight shooter, I think just feels like a good fit at Penn State. I think keeping Terry Smith, I think there might be some guys that were like, I'm definitively out of here, and wherever Franklin goes, I'm going to end up. Maybe some of those guys even are like, well, yeah, you know what? Let me reassess this situation. And, again, maybe some will still go. Maybe they'll all still go. But I have to believe that there's, at least a good number of them that are maybe thinking it through a little bit. Because, listen, there is something to be said, Goon, for what Penn State and Virginia Tech obviously has a very good alumni base and good connections out there as well. Not quite like Penn State does when you look at the various industries and in the networking opportunities there for careers beyond the gridiron that Penn State can provide. And I do think that's, I think Terry Smith is the guy that's got to be leading those conversations, saying, listen, I get it. You committed to James Franklin, and you can certainly go follow James Franklin, but you did start a career here. Hopefully you've seen what Penn State is about. Matt Campbell's going to keep the quote-unquote Penn State tradition going. You're going to make at least comparable, if not better money here than you are at Virginia Tech. So let's what do you say? Let's make this thing work. And so, again, I'm not making any predictions one way or the other. And I am not going to be somebody that, Benedict Arnold or you're a traitor. These kids committed to James Franklin. And if they follow James Franklin, more power to them. Again, Penn State's going to have to regroup. They knew they were going to have to regroup. I think they have the right guy and guys, right staff to allow that to happen. And yeah, it may be a little rough here out of the gate. But, Matt Campbell knew what he was signing up for, and Penn State certainly should have known the predicament it was going to be putting itself in. But I think long term here, a couple of years down the road, I think Penn State will be just fine. This upcoming year, I don't know. I could still see this upcoming year going either way. And again, we'll start to, I think, get an idea of that in the week between Christmas and New Year here.
Yeah, buddy. It'll be a huge couple of weeks here. Obviously, I'm thinking back to what I was just saying. I wonder how much has been done already, or are they truly going to wait until the season is over and then it's but I think kids' minds have made up if they're going to leave or stay or go. But it's
I think that's true.
We know nothing. We really do know. So do you think the guys have not made their mind up they're leaving because they still have to see what Penn State's going to offer them, right? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, and I don't know what all has got into those conversations if they've started at, hey, tell us what, I don't know. I don't know what all is or isn't legally allowed to be discussed at this point. I don't know what is actually being discussed at this point, meeting with other programs, with agents, with players at other schools, just reaching out. Hey, just so you know, I know this amount is sitting here if you come join us at this school or go to that school. Again, I think Penn State's going to hold its own financially here. I think Pat Kraft will see to that. So let's just wait and see how it plays out. I just don't know that it does any good to get worked up and to make grand proclamations one way or the other. It's going to play out. And Penn State will make the adjustments it has to, and then again we'll see that this next year certainly has the potential to be a little thin in terms of the roster for Penn State, but again, there's also, if there is a lot of turnover, there's also a lot of great opportunity, right, for kids from other schools to come in here, and hey, you could be part of something really special and new on the college football scene. So, let's just again see how it all plays out. I think at the end of the day, Penn State will be just fine. My guess is James from Virginia Tech are going to be just fine as well. And then we're gonna. To me, it's more, all right, let's start to see how the Big Ten starts shaking out next season and for the next couple of years, because a lot of moving parts there. Is there anything to Ryan Day and the possibility of him going to the NFL? Is that just a bunch of people talking, or is there something to that? If there is something to that, what does that cause Ohio State to do next? And we're still waiting for Michigan. We've got Oregon not going anywhere. USC seemingly coming on pretty strongly. I think Michigan State's going to be an interesting watch with Pat Fitzgerald for the next couple of years. Iowa's kind of always Iowa. You know what you're getting there, or at least it feels like you do. But where does Penn State fit in this picture? If Fish stays at Washington, Goon, I think Washington is coming on strong. I like their quarterback. I think they are setting themselves up to be right in the mix here in the very near future in terms of trying to contend for a Big Ten title as well. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how it shakes out and where Penn
A lot of action.
State fits in the grand things here. All right, let's take a break here. When we come back, I do want to talk a little Penn State wrestling. We'll talk some Penn State hoops, and I'll get into the college football playoffs, some NFL talk as well. All rolling your way as we continue. It is our Tuesday edition, our only show this week. Of course, for some reason, we're taking Thursday off, Goon. No show Thursdays. Spread the word. We're back after this.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Sorentos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveover Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And we are back here on a Tuesday afternoon. Again, this will be our final show before Christmas. No show on Christmas Day. And then we will be back Tuesday. We'll be talking a lot about the Pinstripe Bowl and certainly touch on some other sports news next week, a week from today. And then we will also take New Year's Day off because, you know, football, we got to watch. And then we're back to a hopefully normal schedule that following week. History made for Penn State Wrestling down in Nashville. Nittany Lions now with the longest win streak in NCAA Division I history with 77 consecutive goals. Nittany Lions looking very impressive in shutting out both North Dakota State and a really good ninth-ranked Stanford team. I think Stanford, having watched them in both of their matches down there, I think Stanford can be a top 10 tournament team. They just have some guys there that I think can put up some significant points at the NCAA tournament. Probably have at least 5, in my mind, legitimate All-American candidates here this season. That being said, this Penn State team, Goon, I know we keep, I keep saying it, but it just is crazy how unbelievably good this year's team is. We've accurately said that each of the last couple of years, that, man, this might be an historically great team, and both teams were. Each of the last 2 years, they set the scoring record at the NCAA tournament. I really think if this team stays healthy, and that's always the big if, but if this team can go into the postseason with its starting lineup intact and feeling good, Goon, I really think they are going to set the record for most individual national champions, which is 5 right now, shared by a couple of Iowa teams, a couple of Penn State teams, and an Oklahoma State team. I really think Penn State will have 6 or more. I think they have definitive, clear-cut national title contenders.
That's crazy.
At 8 weight classes. Yes. And I'm not sure that by the end of the year they won't have 9 or 10 true title contenders. But I think they clearly have 8. And, you know, All-American contenders for sure at the other 2 weights. And again, now we've had 2 teams in the history of the sport that have had 10 All-Americans, but to combine the possibility of 9 or 10 All-Americans with the possibility of 6 or more individual champions is just, it's hard to get your head around, because you just don't see one team, one program be able to accumulate that type of talent top to bottom. And it's not just top to bottom, as we've talked about. The depth in that room right now, Goon, is just unlike anything we've seen in the history of the sport. It really is. They can go 2, and in some weight classes 3 deep, and have, at the very least, strong All-American contenders, and in a lot of cases, true national title contenders, 2 or 3 deep.
Like, it's a little easier for me to grasp the possibility of more than 5 All-Americans, because I'm new to the sport relatively within the last 10, 15 years. You've been doing it for 50 years. And, to see that happen a couple times with 5 All-Americans, and we're talking like, possibility of 6 to possible 8. I mean, that's just unbelievable to even think of, just the amount of, the talent that has been acquired by this program. It's just unbelievable. And then the other thing I tell people all the time, and that is that even if Penn State wrestled their 2s, they probably would be within first, second, or third place in the NCAA. What do you think? Do you think they would be 1 and 2? They'd have a possibility to be 1 and 2, I think.
I think they'd be up there. I think they'd be contending for sure. I mean, Ohio State and Iowa State, and it's interesting because, we'll see, and things can change.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly between now and the end of the season. But as what it feels like after watching all of the action this past weekend and the season to date, it feels like there's Penn State kind of in a class by itself. There's a significant gap to Ohio State, and Ohio State is an exceptionally good team this year. I think Ohio State is in a class by itself in that clear number 2. I think, maybe closing the gap a bit with Penn State. Maybe we'll find that out both in the dual meet at the end of the year and then at the Big Ten and NCAA tournaments. But, I mean, Ohio State has a really good wrestling team, really good. But it feels like, again, you have Penn State clearly 1, Ohio State clearly 2, and then I think you do have some teams. Iowa State, certainly. Iowa, certainly going to be in the mix. Oklahoma State, maybe another team or 2 that can work their way in there. And then it feels like there's another drop-off, and then you have, Nebraska, Stanford, Virginia Tech, some other teams that I think can get into the mix there and battle it out for that kind of maybe 6 to 10 or 12 range at the NCAA tournament. But it does feel like there's a little bit of a clear pecking order at this point. I watched that Oklahoma State-Nebraska duel, and I am a little surprised. It feels like Nebraska has taken a clear step back this year, and it's still a really good team, obviously a really good program, but they just are not wrestling as well as they were last year. And again, at least to this point in the season, and it's December, so you can certainly change narratives over the course of the next couple of months. But right now, again, Nebraska clearly, to me, is just not a top 5 team this year. It's Penn State, then it's Ohio State, and then to me, again, it's Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Iowa, all in contention there. And then there's a drop-off, to me, from that group then to the next group. And I think Nebraska would be in that next group. Again, it's not like they're awful, but they just aren't what they were last year, which is kind of what Ohio State is this year. And, the Buckeyes, I will say, Goon, and they were talking about it a little bit in the streaming of the matches on Sunday, but it does seem something has changed up there with Ohio State, where those guys are wrestling at a little higher level. They're going after the bonus points a little more. Maybe they're just feeding off of Jesse Mendez and the energy he provides, and he certainly provides the energy. That is a really special elite kid. But man, Ohio State they are as close as we've seen in a while to me to a team that goes after it the way Penn State does. In terms of just trying to score points, kind of worrying more about themselves and what they're doing than necessarily what the opponent is or trying to win. It feels like they're going out there trying to dominate. And for the most part, that is what they're doing, at least to this stage of the season.
I mean, I want to talk to you about how those trips were with Nashville and Montana and all that. But I mean, the wrestling you're seeing right now from Penn State it's unbelievable, really. I mean, is there anything in your lifetime that compares to it right now? I mean, anything? I mean, you were around. I mean, I remember Iowa wrestling was like that, but no other sport was this dominant. Like, God, it's crazy.
No, the thing that was different, I mean, and Iowa, obviously, I mean, Dan Gable, it was truly a dynasty, and they won 9 national titles in a row. Can I go back?
Where was his recruiting base? Was it majority Iowa guys?
Yes, and neighboring states and out west. I mean, it was almost entirely. There were some exceptions, but yes, it was largely Iowa and neighboring states, and then a few other. They would draw some kids in here and there from like Illinois but yeah, I mean, largely it was. But listen, in those days, it was like the whole spectrum of sports. At the college level has changed since those days because most schools, I mean, Oklahoma was mostly Oklahoma kids. Yeah. Penn State was mostly Pennsylvania kids, or again, neighboring states. Now, all of these schools are, you look at the Oklahoma State roster, there's a New Jersey kid there, Pennsylvania kid there, Michigan kid, Texas kid. Look at Penn State's roster, it's a Minnesota kid, Wisconsin kids. So, I mean, everybody now, at the top programs, I shouldn't say everybody, but the top programs are all, I mean, they're just getting the best of the best from wherever they are. And, and again, that's the case, I think, with now all of these sports, whether, basketball, gymnastics, whatever it is, you're just going and finding, if you're one of the top programs, top 10 type of program, you're just going and finding the top kids wherever they are and getting them to come to your school. So, yeah, that part has changed. What is different to me about what Penn State is doing under Cal, Iowa had really good teams, and they were really good at winning. I mean, they won close matches regularly, and it's not that they
wanted a close match, right?
Yeah, and listen, they had some guys that were dominant also. It's not like that, they didn't have any of those, but they had one or two a season that just like, all right, yep, they are separating themselves. And you listen, the recipe for a title in those days, and really, with the exception of Penn State, even today, it was go out and get like 3 or 4 elite guys, national title contenders, see if you can supplement with 2 to 4 other really good guys, and then you fill in the holes at a couple of weights that everybody has. And that was the recipe. If you could get 2 or 3 national titles, individual titles, that was phenomenal. And if you could get a couple of other guys, in the top 5, another guy or 2 as an All-American, you could get 7, 8 All-Americans, 2 or 3 national champions. Man, that's a national championship team. That is special stuff. And again, even today, it is still special stuff. But what Penn State has done under Cale Sanderson, especially since 2016, we've just not seen that type of individual dominance from one team where you're having multiple guys, again, not just winning national titles, but getting bonus points in at least 3 or 4 of their 5 bouts at the NCAA tournament. And what is ridiculous to me is, again, okay, well, you did that once, like you put together an unbelievable team. Congratulations. Oops. Now they did it again. Oh, now they did it again. And they've done it now, 8 times in the last 10 seasons and 8 of the last 9 NCAA tournaments where you're and again, last year, for example, they didn't have the 4 or 5 national champions, but they had guys that were with 5 third-place finishers. Those are guys that are capable of it, and that's what's different. Is pretty much since 2016, almost every year, Penn State has put out 4 to 7 legit national title contenders in their lineup. And that just it's crazy to be able to do that with the consistency that Cale has. But the other thing, Goon, I just to go back to you were asking about the trips. The thing that those trips are really good for building team chemistry, for kind of seeing, all right, what is this team really like? You start to get a feel for different personalities, who's getting along. You start to see, all right, maybe is there some cliques developing within the program? Is that a red flag if you're a coaching staff? Are you okay with that if you're a coaching staff? And I will just tell you, and it's not that the chemistry has been bad really any season under Cale. I'm just telling you that this group this year, it is such a fun group of really mature individuals who really do understand that they're here to try to win national titles, individual and team national titles, but simultaneously realize that in the overall scheme of life, it's wrestling. It's a game. I mean, it's fun. We're going to put a lot of time and energy into it. I want to do well. And, yeah, it's like a tiny part of what my life is about. And they all have they see the bigger picture that, hey, at some point, fairly soon, the wrestling career will end. For some, it'll be with the end of their college career. For some others, it may go on another 2 or 3 years. For some, it may go on another 10 to 15 years. But then, whether it's coaching or they go into the quote-unquote real world, that they know that they're going to go out and start families and make an impact in their communities way beyond wrestling, and that whether they win or lose a particular match, whether they win a national title in a given season or not, big picture, that really doesn't matter. And I do think that's part of why that perspective is part of why they have the success they do. Again, I've known a lot of kids over the years, not just Penn State kids. I mean, you get to know some of the families, and these kids put everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. Them and their families put everything into the sport, and if you don't achieve the ultimate goal, there is like this hollowness that they feel, and it's sad. And I didn't realize maybe how sad that is until meeting Cale and Cody and Casey and their perspective on life. And so, again, if you think that your life's work depends on, man, I got to win a national title, that is a lot of pressure. Man, whether or not I view myself as a success as a person, it depends whether or not I win this national title or this big tournament, Big Ten tournament, whatever it may be. Man, that is a lot of pressure to go out there and, all right, am I going to be able to define myself as a success or not? Whereas if you're like, man, I've done everything I can to get myself ready. I can't believe I have this opportunity. And win or lose, man, I know I bigger and better things are around the corner for me. Let's go out and let it fly and have some fun. That is a significant difference in the way you're able to approach that same match, that same situation. And you've seen it very consistently. Penn State just wrestles very free, generally speaking. I'm not going to sit here and tell you 100% of the time Penn State kids are always loose and the opponent is always tight. No, I think more and more kids are seeing this, realizing it, and are taking a similar approach with other programs. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that no Penn State kid has felt that pressure, and regardless of what the coaches are telling them, that they know what their family has sacrificed, and they do believe. I'm not saying that's never happened. I'm telling you the philosophy of the program and the overwhelming majority of kids who have come through it and their families, again, they want to win. No question about it. You put as much time and energy and effort, and you have the talent that these guys do. Yeah, you want to go out and win a national title. But almost to a person, they're not defining themselves by it. It's like, yeah, this is a really cool, fun part of my life, and I really want to do well. But yeah, this isn't my life. This isn't the most important thing, certainly that I'm going to do throughout my life. And just having that perspective, I really do think allows them to wrestle as freely as they do, and watching them interact with one another and the different personalities and the way they pick each other's brains, not just about wrestling, but about life, about different things that all college guys are going through. It really is fascinating to see the culture that Cale Sanderson and Cody Sanderson and Casey Cunningham and now Nick Lee have been able to foster here. And it is really special, above and beyond the wrestling. It is really special. And one of the neat things about the trip to Nashville was they were able to take 20 kids with them. So 20 kids made the trip. So that's 10 starters that competed, and then 10 other guys that are able to be around that, to see what the starters are doing, to help the starters do what they're doing, and to have those interactions on the road trip. That is how you make sure that culture continues to build upon itself one year after the next.
That's true, and they're wrestling for each other now too. That's the best thing about it. I mean, that's the closest you can get as a team. I mean, you can say wrestling's that individual sport and this and that, and that, you've seen it. You've seen guys on the wrestling team who have been cliquish, like you said, cliquish. And then, when I see these guys down, doing our shows and stuff like that, or at different events, they're doing some NIL stuff, and they're always together, man. They're always, and I was just thinking about like your travels and stuff like that, how they, you learn a lot about a person when you're traveling with them. And then, you want to go out there, somebody starts to match off real well, and you want it to continue. I mean, as an athlete, as a competitor, or anything, but especially in the collegiate level, I know that when I played football, I wanted to be better than the guys that were ahead of me. I didn't want them coming back here and being mad at me for, letting the program slide to where, into the depths of hell. We never wanted that. You always wanted to get better, and you always want the teams that are behind you to be better than you. And that should be the thought process and the feeling for all the guys. And that is that this is what we do. This is how we do it. But how do we get better? How can we improve on this? How can we get better? What can we do? I mean, the challenges are enormous. That they've just slowly taken them all on, and they've gotten them all. I mean, what's the next one? 10 All-American? I mean, 6 natties, 10 natties. I mean, that's the new one. They have the record goal, the scoring in the tournament, all that stuff. So it's amazing, and they're fun to watch, and they're fun to deal with, and they're I'm very proud to watch them too.
Yeah, and listen, Cale has said, that what their approach is that they're just trying to help each individual do the best they can, and then it's up to the individual. How good do you want to be? We'll help you however good it is you want to be in any way we can. And so, they truly spend zero time. Like Cale has not mentioned once ever to anybody on that roster about the winning streak. And he's not going to mention ever, hey, we could get the scoring record, or like that is not what drives Cale, not what drives the program, not what it's about. But I will say that I think this winning streak is one of the cooler records because it does speak volumes about what Penn State wrestling is about. And that is what every wrestling program wants to be about, right? Which is consistency of effort and performance. Hey, no matter the circumstance. And obviously, when you go 6 years plus, there's going to be some days there where you had some individuals that just weren't feeling right, just didn't wrestle their best, guys that were in and out of the lineup. Again, I dug through the streak, and 58 different individuals have competed in a dual meet for Penn State during this 77-match win streak.
Well, there you go.
Well, that's 58 guys that had to step up and perform. And one way or the other, win or lose, they were part of that streak.
Oh, yeah.
And listen, make no mistake, it's not just those 58 guys that were in the starting lineup that should feel part of this. Everybody that was on the roster in any one of these seasons is a part of it, because that preparation in the room is critical. But what is neat about the streak to me is again, it really is a program streak. So all of those individuals can rightfully take credit for being a part of the streak. And it does take, to put a streak like that together, right, many different teams, many different individuals collectively working toward the same thing. And when you have that consistency of performance and you have different guys stepping up on different days against different teams and strong opponents on many occasions, to me, that is something that you should take a little extra pride in achieving once it has been achieved, and for however long the streak continues. Like, it is something that, again, everybody really associated with the program should take pride in, because it speaks volumes and to me just underscores exactly what it is that Cale and his staff preach about, again, with the consistency, being grateful, taking advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself, not taking anything for granted. All of the things that you want in sports in general, and wrestling specifically, I think are symbolized in this now 77-match win streak that the Nittany Lions have been able to put together. And we'll see. It's certainly a streak that could go on for another season or two anyway, and not that that's guaranteed. Again, Ohio State has a really good team this year, and if there's an injury or two, who knows? But what they have achieved already, again, is very, very special. All right, we're going to take a break here. We are back with much more. It is our Tuesday edition, only edition of the week of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia?
Wanna see you in a Kia.
No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Sorentos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveover Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And we are back here on a Tuesday afternoon. Penn State basketball losing to Pitt at Giant Center in Hershey. Pitt just got off to such an unbelievably hot start. And listen, we've known all along there's going to be some growing pains this year for Nittany Lion basketball. It obviously was not the game that Penn State wanted to have against Pitt. And I just, to me, the second half was, it was good to see Penn State kind of stay with it, try to be competitive. I don't know that I take a whole lot away from that, even though, because when you know the game's over at halftime, as Pitt did, it's hard to kind of keep that edge. And I actually thought Pitt did a pretty good job of keeping that edge. throughout the second half. But I know, Oregon football got there were some fans there, and even Dan Lanning was critical of his team. Man, we got to finish it off. I'm sorry, you're averaging 15 yards per play in the first half. It's hard, and you're up 34-6 at the break. It's hard to go in there in the locker room and say, all right, yeah, we've it's truly 0-0. Get your mind set to come out and take this second half every bit as seriously as you did the first. Human nature at some point has to dictate a little bit that you recognize you're far superior, and that's not taking nothing away from James Madison. I thought JMU came out and did put some things together in the second half, but I mean, you never felt like JMU was in that game, and I just again, once you get a very, very comfortable lead at the half of any sport, I just think it is difficult to really maintain the intensity. And if you're playing a team that has some pride and some talent and wants to prove something, I think, usually that second half can end up being kind of an even affair, regardless of what the first half may have looked like. So I do think this Oregon-Texas Tech game, to me, as we turn to the college football playoffs, is really intriguing. And I think the results that we saw in the first round, with a couple of home teams losing, maybe sets the stage for, hey, we're going to see some things that we didn't see last year, like home teams winning here in the quarterfinals. We've been talking on our morning show. I still am struggling, even though I shouldn't. But it's just that the history is what it is. And to see Indiana as the 1 seed against Alabama, and I think Indiana is going to win the game. So it's not like I think this is outrageous, or we're going to see. Yeah, we'll see Indiana get whether they belong with the big boys. They belong with the big boys. They've already shown that in the Big Ten championship game, and that's not to say they couldn't lose either and still belong with the big boys. Alabama's got a very talented roster, and I thought Alabama really responded well after falling behind 17-0 on the road. Great atmosphere there in Norman, and Alabama just kind of figured some things out, settled themselves down, got some big plays, got some opportunities, and capitalized on them. And once that momentum shifted, Oklahoma, you could almost see trying too hard, putting too much pressure on themselves, and it is hard once momentum goes the other way. If you start pressing, and I thought it was pretty apparent that is what Oklahoma was doing. Alabama took advantage, and Alabama is into the quarterfinals against a really good Indiana team. And again, I do think that's an intriguing matchup just because of the history of the two programs, but also, it is an SEC Big Ten matchup, so there's going to be that element to it, and fans will read into that element of it. I think the Ole Miss Georgia game is really interesting but largely because now of the Pete Golding effect, and it's almost like Mississippi is playing angry, but they're angry at not their opponent, not at their opponent's coaches, not at the and again, this is a rivalry, if you will, with Georgia. I mean, they are conference foes, and so with that, there's just an automatic rivalry to some degree. So you'd think that the passion would be there, and I'm not saying it's not partially there for that. But it feels like the galvanizing force right now for Ole Miss is we are going to prove to Lane Kiffin that we are a great team despite Lane Kiffin, not because of Lane Kiffin. And it's just such an interesting dynamic that has developed there with that Ole Miss program since the departure of Lane Kiffin. And obviously they took care of business against Tulane, not unexpectedly. Very similar to the first meeting between the two programs earlier this year. And I think, again, they look very, very good, does Ole Miss. Georgia, obviously, is a team that nobody will be shocked if they end up winning the national title. Kirby Smart has a couple under his belt, and that is a really talented roster that has played very well against a really good schedule all season long. And then Ohio State, Miami, to me, is the one game, and I'm proven wrong all the time. To me, this is the easy pick of all of the games. I mean, I think Georgia, to me, on paper, it has the edge over Ole Miss. Again, to me, that galvanizing force of we're going to prove Lane Kiffin wrong. I just think Ole Miss is really dangerous right now. But to me, Ohio State, Miami, I think Ohio State is just clearly the better team this year. I think they are really good on both sides of the ball. I thought Miami did a really good job defensively against Texas A&M. But listen, I know Texas A&M has a very good defense as well. I think Ohio State is going to shut Miami down. And I'm reading a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people that think Miami is kind of the hot pick right now, and that they're going to roll and get into the semis and maybe even play for the national title. Going into that one, I just think Ohio State is going to win handily. Handily meaning double digits. Like, I don't think it's going to come down to the last drive either way. I think Ohio State will end up winning that game by like 17 points, 27-10, 34-13, somewhere in that neighborhood, 17 to 21 points. I just, again, maybe I'll be proven wrong. I thought Miami played very well against Texas A&M, but I don't think either of those teams are much of a match for Ohio State. Now, Indiana, the Indiana-Alabama game fascinates me because I do think, again, if you just go by the, how many stars do the recruits that are now in that starting lineup, how many did they come out of high school with? And, if you go position by position, how many more stars does Alabama have than Indiana? And all of that is irrelevant. I mean, Alabama, I think, would come out on top in that. But this Indiana team is so good. But the caveat there is long layoff. And while Indiana has handled everything with aplomb this year, they also have not had a Heisman Trophy winner before. And I think Mendoza is phenomenal. I think he will handle this well. But he's in uncharted territory in terms of the praise that he is getting. And again, I think he's well equipped to handle it, but it's different now that you are the Heisman Trophy winner and you had to meet all of the time obligations and interviews and all of that. And all right, can you get back and truly humble yourself and your team and get back to work? Now, I think Kurt Cignetti is exactly the right coach to make sure that is exactly what happens. And I do think Indiana will come out and win it. I think they'll take care of business against Alabama, in part because I think they're the better team. I think regardless of what the recruits were coming out of high school, I think that team right now is one of the 2 or 3 best in the country, and I won't be surprised if Indiana wins the national title. And even as I'm saying that sentence, I'm hesitating because what do you mean you won't be surprised if Indiana football wins the national title? Yes, it really does sound preposterous, but I also think it is a very real possibility. Now, I also think the winner of the Oregon-Texas Tech game is going to have a real shot at winning the national title. Certainly, I think Georgia and Ole Miss are both viable contenders. Want to see how Ole Miss, how long can you ride the angry train here? Now, it's a very good team as well. I mean, I'm not saying it's just the emotion, but I do think that emotion is just kind of lifting them to a little different height, or at least did in that opening round of the playoffs. We'll see if that can carry over and translate into a quarterfinal win over Georgia. And certainly will not be surprised if Ohio State ultimately wins it all. Again, I think that is just a really good team and a ton of talent at the key spots that you need to put together a national championship team. So I will be curious to see how all of that plays out. I think Oregon does end up beating Texas Tech. I think Dante Moore is special. I think that defense is good, and I think they will get enough points against that Texas Tech defense, which is, I do think they are every bit equal to the hype that they have received. I think Texas Tech's defense is as good or better than any in the country. But I also think Dante Moore is a special quarterback. I think that Oregon offensive system is a special system. That's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it'll be a very competitive game. I think at the end of the day, Oregon finds a way to win it. And then I think we end up with 3 Big Ten teams in the semifinals. I think Oregon and Indiana will meet in the one semifinal, and I do think it'll be Ohio State against the winner of that Ole Miss-Georgia game. I guess if you pin me down, I actually think Ole Miss is going to find a way to win that game. And that's going to be a fun watch, just with the passion that SEC fans have with everything surrounding, well, both Georgia and Ole Miss. I think that's going to be a really fun watch. I think that'll be a very competitive game. And I don't know. I think Ole Miss is just going to find a way. So I think you'll have 2 lower seeds, a 5 and a 6 seed, and a 1 and a 2 seed into the semifinals. And if you're doing your due diligence, you are making notes to yourself, holy cow, Miami's going to beat Ohio State, because I'm always wrong with my predictions. Alabama will knock off Indiana. Sure enough, Texas Tech is going to be able to knock off Oregon. And lo and behold, Georgia will be in the semifinals again with their win over Ole Miss. That's what the intelligent money is telling you to do for the college football playoffs. Do you want to talk a little NFL too? The Pittsburgh Steelers, that game Sunday. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break here. We'll talk some Steelers, talk some Eagles on the other side. The dear Goon is fighting through it today, so I think he's going to join us at some point for a bit in the final segment. He's again trying to work through some things today, and so I think he'll join us at least for a portion of our final segment. But let's go ahead and take a break here, and then we'll talk the NFL, because for as fun as I think the college football playoffs are, and I do think they are going to be a lot of fun from here on out. I love these matchups. I love the storylines. I love everything about the college football playoffs, other than Penn State not being in them. But I think there's a lot to enjoy about the quarterfinal matchups here if you're a college football fan. But I think the NFL playoffs, to me, as we sit here today, they feel as wide open as I can remember them being in a long time. I would almost be surprised, maybe bordering on shocked, if the top seeds in the NFC and AFC end up playing in the Super Bowl. It almost feels like neither of the top seeds will end up in the Super Bowl. But I think there's a lot of teams that I will not be surprised if they end up there. But could we have a year? I was thinking about this last night as I'm watching the ancient Phillip Rivers and the Colts do battle last night and ultimately succumb to the 49ers. But as I'm watching that game, the thought entered into my head, because then they're doing the halftime highlights from Sunday's action. And could we have, is it even actually possible that in 1 year we could have Indiana football and the Jacksonville Jaguars win championships? I think it is possible. And maybe almost bordering on likely even. Anyways, we'll kick that around. On the other side of this timeout, you're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We're coming right back.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Sorentos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drywood Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And back here on a Tuesday afternoon. Again, no show on Christmas Day. We'll have Fox Sports throughout the day, at least streaming, and we'll see. Maybe even on air, but Fox Sports all day on Christmas Day, and then we will be back on Tuesday next week. Of course, Pinstripe Bowl coming up at noon on Saturday. Penn State and Clemson, the Nittany Lions, 3.5 underdogs to 3.5 point underdogs to the Tigers, and we'll see. Intrigue around the game. I'm excited to see the game, but it's overall scheme of things, not that big of a deal either way. The real intrigue, I think, is going to become after the game, maybe a little bit before the game, as we find out, all right, definitively who is and isn't playing for the Nittany Lions, but then who is going to be back next season wearing the blue and white, and who is going to be heading out for other opportunities. And with that, who else is going to be coming in and joining forces here with Matt Campbell's Nittany Lions squad next season? A lot of things that'll start to sort themselves out after the Pinstripe Bowl. I think we'll start to get at least a clearer picture of, all right, this is what this is actually going to start to look like here for Penn State football. And yeah, you may need to prepare yourself for a vastly different looking team in terms of just the names on the roster next season. That is certainly a distinct possibility here for Penn State football next year. And if it is, we'll just wait and see who it is that comes in and what that roster starts to look like. I am still really intrigued by the quarterback spot alone and what ends up happening there. I really like Ethan Grunkmeyer. I really like the way he performed at the end of the season here. I'm excited to see what he can do in this Pinstripe Bowl matchup with Clemson. And with that, there's a lot of people excited about the possibility, and I don't know how great of a possibility it is, but some Penn State fans seem to think that, yep, Bo Pribula on his way back. I mean, it's possible. And, obviously we have Recht from Iowa State, and I think most Penn State fans are probably not as enamored, mostly because we don't know him. He hasn't been a Nittany Lion. I also think there are some legitimate concerns there with Recht when you look at the completion numbers. So that you start there. What's that quarterback spot going to look like? Who do you project as the starter? And then kind of everything else will trickle out from there. But there's a lot in that everything else in terms of figuring out the roster for next season. But I do want to turn to the NFL as the dear Goon rejoins us. And Goon, of course, a fan of the NFC East Division champion Philadelphia Eagles. I am a fan of the hopefully soon-to-be AFC North Division champion Pittsburgh Steelers. Come on, Green Bay on Saturday night. And if Green Bay can't get the job done, hopefully the Steelers can, even though they will be DK Metcalfless against their rivals from Cleveland as they take on the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday afternoon. Goon, let's start with your Eagles because it does seem like when they remember, oh yeah, Saquon Barkley, he's a really good running back. we ought to feed him the ball. It does seem like things fall into place pretty well for that Eagles offense.
Yeah, imagine that, how the play action works when you actually can actually run the ball. The play action pass is a wonderful weapon. I think that is Hurts' game, in my opinion, with A.J. Brown and then the Slim Reaper out there running around. But yeah, Saquon having a tough run game like that keeps the defense on their toes, and it's you could slow a defense down pretty good by beating them down a little bit, and that game gets real long. So, and you can maintain you're going to play against an LA Rams team or a Seattle team who you don't want their offense on the field. So if you can run the ball, run that clock, and keep that offense off the field, that's better. That works out better for the Eagles. So, yeah, let's keep on working that run game, man. Go ahead, Saquon.
Steelers got their run game. I was not shocked that the Steelers won, although I wasn't necessarily expecting it in Detroit. But, Goon, they outgained Detroit on the ground by 215 yards. And I had been watching the Lions several weeks this season, and I'm like, wow, that running game against what the Steelers had been doing until these last couple of weeks with their rush defense, I'm like, good Lord, Detroit might go off for 300 yards against the Steelers. Well, how about 15? 15 total in the game running for Detroit. It really was crazy. And then Jalen Warren breaks off those couple of long runs in the second half. Kenneth Gainwell had what I would describe as a pretty good catch for a touchdown at the end of the first half. And voila, the Steelers with a little pass interference call against Detroit get out of there with the big W. And now, again, need just either a Packers win at home, Packers at home Saturday night over the Ravens, or the Steelers need to take care of business themselves and beat the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland on Sunday afternoon. And if either of those things happen, the Steelers are AFC North Division champions. And the Browns, that would then be 4 straight wins since we got to get rid of Tomlin. Tomlin era's over. Get this bum out of here. Steelers have responded pretty well since then.
They've responded pretty well since T.J. Watt got hurt. I mean, I didn't think that defense could ball up the way they did the last 2 weeks. I mean, they looked really, really good. I mean, you're not kidding. They shut down the Detroit Lions run game, and that is a formidable run game that they have. And I don't know what in the hell is going on with them, but I don't know if they stopped believing in Campbell or whatnot, but damn, they look like they're a different team out there this past weekend. They look like they didn't know how to run the ball. And then they were like, they got to the point where like, oh, the only way we can run the ball is quick quick passes, and that's what they started to get into. And that team from last year has really, really been different to me. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I don't really watch the Detroit Lions enough to think or understand why they're not playing that well. But man, that team that lost last year to the Washington Redskins or the Commanders, man, that team that was there this past week against the Steelers, I don't know. That's two different teams. I don't know where that team came from. But Gibbs, he is a phenomenal running back. But it's like they just shut him down. It just seems like they didn't qualify for the playoffs, so he's just like, screw it. It's almost like they all just quit. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I thought Alonzo Highsmith just played out of his mind against Detroit. He was just great with the run defense, but also great with the pass rush, and was just nonstop, seemingly throughout that game. And listen, the defense as a whole played very well. Detroit did, get some good plays off on those last couple of drives, and made it a little more interesting than what we were hoping for as Steelers fans down the stretch. But a huge win, obviously, for Pittsburgh, and you couple that with the Ravens' loss to the Patriots, and again, all of a sudden, the Steelers are sitting here with an opportunity to make the season finale against the Ravens at Acrisure Stadium academic and inconsequential, which is pretty amazing. By the way, Lamar Jackson, they're saying is day-to-day with the back, what they're calling a significant contusion in his back. So, my take on that, Goon, is even if he plays, he's not going to be like the Lamar Jackson that you're used to seeing. I can't imagine how they get him to the point where he's feeling like that on Saturday night. It doesn't help that you have the short week here for Jackson and the Ravens. So I think they're up against it because the Packers are playing for their playoff lives here at home. And again, I'm not sitting here telling you the Ravens have no chance. I won't be shocked if they win. But I think it's a tall order for sure. And then it'll be interesting to see if the Packers do beat the Ravens on Saturday night. It'll be interesting to see how the Steelers then handle things against the Browns, meaning do you maybe rest in the second half and Aaron Rodgers, a Cam Hayward, some of the veteran guys that you're going to need if you're going to make a playoff run and actually, win a postseason game this year. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they have that dilemma. What do we do now that we have the division already clinched before taking on the Browns on Sunday? But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I enjoy that I have the opportunity to get a little ahead of myself with the Steelers. Would not have thought I'd have that opportunity just a few short weeks ago. The DK Metcalf situation, Goon, it was just I'm sorry. I know the fan and DK, I guess, is saying that there was racial stuff. I don't buy it because there was no reaction. There was a security person down below there, and you see nobody else in the stands react. I just don't buy it. Maybe DK thought he heard. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense to me. The other, so there's a couple of other things about it. People are like, well, maybe the fan said something. I don't care what the fan said. He could say the worst thing imaginable. If you're DK Metcalf, you go to the security and say, hey, that fan there said this horrible thing, and you need to take care of it. And then you go back and why in the world any player in an NFL game in particular, any sporting event, but in an NFL game in particular, why you are engaging physically with a fan is just, it's ridiculous. And especially these days, Goon, like security staff is much more proactive about. They'll go over and talk to fans. Hey, you got to be careful here, buddy. Like, we want you to have a good time, but you can't be saying this or that, or we're going to take you out of here. So,
or even the Steelers' security should have been on the sidelines. Why the hell is he over there on his own? Why is there somebody back there saying, DK, get back here, or what's the problem, DK? And go over to the usher and say, hey, that guy's saying this, get him the hell out of here. You just don't walk over there. I mean, and then the Steelers should be at some kind of they have to have somebody watching for that. I mean, you just can't have players wandering over to the fans close enough to touch them and smack them. Again, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that. If it was racial, there was a guy right behind him who worked for the team, and there was a whole section of people there. And you're going to tell me that if somebody had heard something racial, they would have come up. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. So I really doubt that something racial was said, which is very disappointing. Again, it goes back to that Myles Garrett thing a couple of years ago with Duck. Yeah. Or Mason Rudolph or whatever. I'll never got over that, man. I just didn't appreciate why he said that and why that was never even talked about. So the NCAA, the NFL is going to, they have 100 microphones on those sidelines, hundreds all around. Yeah, every camera's got a microphone on it. Somebody had to have heard something. Like Myles Garrett, he said he heard something. Nobody heard anything, but now DK said he heard something, but no one else heard it. So, he's got to be a lot smarter than that. I mean, I saw today that he may have avoided some of his contract, his guaranteed stuff money may have actually not. It may have become non-guaranteed now if it's something off the field, an issue that if they wanted to cut bait with him, they don't owe him guaranteed money anymore. Not that they're going to, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's just a stupid thing to do. Why would you put yourself in a position where it's even a possibility?
And then I think that one person said that he had a history with this guy. The person was, when he was playing for Seattle, was all up in his business then. So then DK, go tell somebody.
Yeah,
and say, hey, that guy, I had a run-in with that guy 4 years ago. I don't want this to happen again. I don't know what he's thinking of that situation. I really don't.
No, just very dumb. 2 games suspension, and that seems to me reasonable. And actually, I think it works out fine for the Steelers. I think, again, hopefully, if you're a Steelers fan, the Packers can take care of business here on Saturday night. And so these 2 games without DK Metcalf really in the overall scheme will become meaningless. And then you get DK back for the playoffs. And, there will be pressure for sure for the Steelers to get a playoff victory here under Mike Tomlin this season. The winning streak here has been nice, and if you can win a couple more, all the better. And all of that completely meaningless if you then go out and get drubbed in the opening round of the playoffs again this year. That being said, Goon, these playoffs to me, and I understand that we've had years where it's like, oh yeah, this team's clearly the best, and then they get upset. So I get that. I don't think there is. There's virtually no team that will get into the playoffs that I'll be looking at and say, well, there's no way that team gets to the Super Bowl. Like, this feels as wide open as I can remember it, where you have both conferences feeling like, yeah, Seattle obviously very good, New England very good, Denver very good, the Rams very good. Do you feel like any of those teams are anywhere close to invincible?
All beatable. Every one of them is beatable.
And especially, and this is always the case. Let's see what the injury situation looks like for all of these teams over the final couple of weeks. That's always going to be part of the equation going into the postseason. But yeah, none of these teams just feel like, oh boy, look out. They are. They all feel very good. And again, think all of those teams have an excellent chance, but you're sitting there with a Philadelphia Eagles team that knows how to get it done. We've seen it. A Buffalo Bills team in the AFC that is beyond hungry and has, the always dangerous Josh Allen without now their biggest nemesis in the playoffs with Mahomes and the Chiefs out. So it feels like there's a pathway, maybe unlike there's been in any other year here for the Buffalo Bills. But I just think up and down both conferences, it's like, wow, I could see like the Jacksonville Jaguars to me, Goon. I almost, and I was half joking as we were going into the break, could we have in the same football season the Indiana Hoosiers win the national title and the Jacksonville Jaguars win the Super Bowl? And I'm saying, yeah, I won't be shocked if both of those things happen. Because I watched a good bit of the Jacksonville game. I'm trying to think, was that 2 or 3 weeks ago? They are a really good team. And Trevor Lawrence seems to have, maybe matured, figured some things out, whatever. But I think he is playing at a really high level. I just think these NFL playoffs are going to be wild. I thought the 49ers, that's 2 weeks in a row. They have not punted the football. 5th time in the last 75 NFL seasons that a team has gone consecutive weeks without punting the football. And yeah, Brock Purdy, man, I'm telling you, that offense with Christian McCaffrey, funny how when you have a running game that quarterback starts to be able to step up to another level. But man, the 49ers feel really dangerous. I think the NFL playoffs, I'm pumped about the college football playoffs, but I think the NFL, I think this is going to be wild. And I think it's going to be a bunch of really fun, entertaining, close games.
I agree. I guess I got to ask you because I'm in a title. I did very well this year in fantasy again. One of my quarterbacks was. Was it
what's
Aaron?
That? Was it Aaron?
Huh?
Was it Rodgers? Your
my quarterback? No.
Yeah.
I had the young man from Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
the last couple of weeks, he's completely carried me. So yeah, so I watched him the whole year. He's had tough games and stuff like that, but he's really come around. And then watching that game last night, Purdy scares the hell out of me. He was on fire. 5 touchdown passes and a running touchdown. You're talking like, wow, that's MVP type numbers. So they're all coming back. They're coming back healthy right now. The 49ers are. So I think that they're hot. They're really hot right now. Again, like you just said, they haven't punted the ball in 2 games. That's unheard of. So the fact that all these teams that are involved, we're talking about like at any time, any one of them could lose. They're not like this dominant, like they're just the Dallas Cowboys in the early 90s. They're going to the Super Bowl because there's not one team like that. Like the Rams, they choke in some games. The 49ers choke in some games. Or they play really, really well and then win big games. It's crazy. The Eagles are the same way. It's like they're almost all schizophrenic. You have no idea who the hell is going to come out, especially in this playoffs, the way it's going this year. But I'm very excited for the playoffs in the NFL. Big time. Now, with that said, how did the Ironhead do?
I know this is going to shock you, Goon, but my team did not perform very well in fantasy football. The good news is I didn't finish dead last. Okay. So I got that going for me, which is pretty nice.
So did you guys start doing any kind of shame bets?
Oh, yeah.
Who came in last?
I think I think this weekend might be the last place game. Maybe. Yep. I don't even know.
But you're not playing for it, though. Good for you, Jeff. See?
Yeah,
that's your first step.
I came close. I was in the semifinals of the last place game, but yeah, I don't. Fantasy is just not my thing.
It's not one of your strengths, Jeff. It's not one of your strengths.
Yeah, it's not one of my interests. I just I'm not a fan even of fantasy football. But anyways, happy Festivus for the rest of us, though. That's
happy
hopefully
Festivus to you too, Ironhead.
Celebrating appropriately, get the aluminum poles up, and air those grievances tonight, and then the feats of strength, Goon. Always a fun holiday tradition. We do hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, we hope you have a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate anything, just have a good few days, would you? Go enjoy it with your family and friends. Goon, we wish you good health and speedy recovery here in the coming year. Appreciate you're powering through today.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Have Merry Christmas to all, and to Jeffrey, have a great year, my brother.
Yep, great to see you.
And let's go Penn State Saturday, baby.
We'll talk about that. Yes. Pinstripe Bowl again, Penn State and Clemson. That'll kick off at noon on Saturday, and we will be back a week from today to talk about that and much more in the world of sports, as we will have another edition 1 week from today of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube. Huge thank you to Quaker Steak and Lube. Again, they've been our host from day one. We really appreciate it. Love the partnership here. Great staff, great food, great beverage, and of course you can watch all of your favorite sports to boot. Again, Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll be back next Tuesday. Until then, be good. And
from decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Serenos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveover Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox.